Ah, the old days of YouTube. Back when 360p was acceptable. 21 seconds of these shots of Hyrule Temple. And if you include opening logos, that's 40 seconds total.
Today, I was invited to a Smash Brothers tournament. But I find it's weird that no one's here.
Of course not. You'll never find anyone standing in one place on the biggest stage in Melee aside from auto-scrolling stages. Kill7's lucky that Super 64 didn't just happen to turn around and see him sneaking up on him, or hear his incredibly loud footsteps. Also, I'm pretty sure Super 64 is at 0% damage right now since he just got here, so he wouldn't be sent flying right away. Sure, Bowser's powerful, but he didn't charge his smash attack, so it would take much more than that to send him flying in one hit.
Whoa, listen buddy.
Not the best idea to zoom in on Lead Fox when saying that, because for a second I thought that was him saying that. Speaking of which, it's never explained why Lead Fox doesn't say anything right away.
You little cretin. Now you're gonna get it. Plumber style.
Did you even try to loop the music better? Even I could loop it better in Windows Movie Maker. Lead Fox is knocked out in just 2 hits.
There's no such thing as tournaments.
I'm pretty sure you just made half your audience dumber by saying that, either by poisoning their minds or by loss of brain cells for hearing you say something that stupid.
Keeps just set them all up in servers so some noobs will come and be all like, when do we start? And then they get pwned by the host who's setting them up to land a cheap shot on them and bring up their rankings.
This has happened multiple times before? You're telling me that out of all the people that fell for that, none of them never once happened to accidentally look behind them?
Good luck with that, noob.
This is literally the 3rd time you used that word in the last 30 seconds.
Where is he?
How do you know he's even still here?
Enemy, you do not belong on these grounds.
This is another thing that hasn't aged well in the series. Every once in a while, the acting stinks.
Listen buddy, I'm looking for a guy that
Dare question the hero of time?
All he said is he's looking for someone.
You do know you're not really Link, right?
Let's see, a character going as a beloved fictional hero and actually thinks he really is said hero. And even says, "Halt, who goes there?" before introducing himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves an honest-to-goodness Buzz Lightyear ripoff. You seriously couldn't give us a more inspiring opening theme for this? The Smashtasm Brawl series has a much more exciting song, being a very inspiring remix of Brawl's theme. This, however, is a very boring remix of Melee's theme. You want to keep your viewers' interest, do you?
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm fighting you.
But we haven't set up the match rules yet.
Hey, you threw that first punch when you shot him with an arrow,
Yes,
so you're no
because I
better.
chose.
I get pushed around 3 times today, and now I have to take orders from a man wearing a skirt?
Making a joke about Link wearing a skirt
Hey,
cliche.
I've seen Hyrule. They don't wear skirts.
Are you telling me that all this time I've been the only one wearing a skirt?
Well, aside from the cokery.
How many items?
All of them.
All of them? You can't be serious.
I understand true Smash players don't need items, but I wouldn't say having all items turned on is something to get on someone's case for.
Any player of Super Smash Bros. Would know that the B attack is always the soggy projectile.
Except for Zelda, Marth, Captain Falcon, etc. Also, I definitely agree on the B projectile move being useless, but I could easily say the same about your arrows, which you even used earlier.
Hey, I thought you said a true warrior uses pure strength and not weapons. Well, isn't that a weapon?
It would have helped if you actually showed the hookshot to prove Super 64's point, but because Super 64 was right next to him, we couldn't see it.
It's my nemesis, the evil Ganondorf.
I could believe Buzz Lightyear would think that's the real Ganondorf, but we just saw that he knows how this world works, since he talked about match rules and uses projectile attacks, yet he thinks a random Ganondorf player is the real Ganondorf. This is just inconsistent intelligence.
I said thanks. It's nice to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only female character in the Melee series, and she's playing as a man. I don't mind girls playing as men, but when the only girl is playing as a man, that's a sin.
Hey Link, you just got owned by a chick.
Yeah, and you got owned by the guy who got owned by a chick, so what does that make you?
Link got totally owned by a chick.
Okay, it was funny the first time you said it. Don't run it into the ground.
I find that very offensive.
Did you not hear him the first time? Link was a farther distance away from him than you were, and he still heard him.
No time, no items.
Aw, no items.
Stop whining and fight.
I find this only use items logic offensive. Items are half the fun of playing Smash Bros. Because of all of their cool moves. And even if their spawn locations are random, the way they're used can make a big difference. The only items in Melee I can really say have a luck-based factor to them are the container items, hammer, cloaking device, maybe the mushroom, and Pokeball. As for the rest, they don't really make matches more luck-based unless one appears right next to you. Besides, sometimes items are the only way to win. Like if you're a close-range fighter like Captain Falcon going up against an expert Marth player who keeps using counter. In those instances, you'll need items to stand a chance even if you are an expert.
Don't take this too offensively, but you suck.
I take that very offensively.
Now you know how she felt about your sexist comment earlier.
So remember, kid, anytime he needs help, Just call my name.
Here's the problem with Lead Fox's recordings. Sometimes it sounds like he left his TV on in the background. Even in my early days of using my mic, I did a better job at that.
Lead Fox never said that.
How would you know? You weren't even there. Sure, they do make a joke about that, but that's more so about how Link knew what Super 64 thought Lead Fox said, not how Link knew what Lead Fox actually said.
Lead Fox!
Apparently, Lead Fox also found a hack that gives you supersonic hearing. I know foxes have good hearing, but he can hear him from literally on top of a plane.
Time's up, Mr. Toilet Man. Get it? Because you're a plumber?
Don't explain the joke. That would have been an actually pretty decent joke by toilet humor standards, until you went ahead and ruined it.
P2? I thought Link was P2.
How the heck did you see that? I'm pretty sure no one ever pays attention to the player number signs.
Oh, don't worry. I took care of him.
Why couldn't you have just joined in as player 4? Or did you know that and just wanted to get rid of Link? If so, then that was pretty scummy of you. What did he do to deserve this? Other than being mildly annoying, I guess. Okay, he did attack Super 64 earlier, but I doubt Lead Fox knew that. This series shames Kirby.
I just hate it when someone that doesn't know how to speak English joins one of these servers.
That's racist.
Hey, you trying to slash my rep, noob?
Well, at least someone other than Super 64 is being called that. Both this episode and episode 8 are called The Confrontation. Did Ship even look over these titles?
7 stock, 3-minute time limit, few items.
Didn't you insult Super 64 for wanting to use items earlier, and now you're turning items on? Sure, it's on few, but come on.
Holy crap! That was quite a battle.
Haha, it's funny because we didn't get to see it. Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, I can't believe it ended in a tie.
I can believe a hacker versus pro battle would end in a tie, but did these two forget about sudden death matches? Also, are you telling me that Blackberry never once noticed that Lead Fox must have been using some sort of hacks in the battle?
Super 64 here fell for the old tournament scheme.
Ha! What a noob!
Why is this series so obsessed with that word? Look, I'm not one of those language Nazis who gets mad at people for swearing. I've been chatting with people online for over a year by the time I first came across this series, so I was kinda used to hearing swearing by then. But does this series just think that saying the N-word every single time they get the chance makes you look cool? Because it really doesn't. It actually does the exact opposite, and it doesn't prove that you're any better than him. This obviously fake laughter goes on for all the sometimes.
It's not that funny.
I agree, it really wasn't that funny. Let alone funny enough to have this stupid laughter scene that goes on for too long. Shut up!
I know where you could probably catch him. He's most likely in a server called Ultimate Smash Tournament.
Blackberry seems to really hate Super 64, yet she's helping him do what he wants to do.
Idiots.
I'm glad she doesn't think that Super 64 is the only idiot here, but didn't she seem to respect Lead Fox after their battle? And now we have another 39 seconds of nothing but showing Great Bay. That's literally an entire loop of the song that plays on it.
Great Bay. This must be the place.
What are the odds that multiple people would be saying that almost word for word?
Booyah! Another one bites my dust.
Out of all the unimpressive voice
Yeah,
acting
I
in the
really
project,
achieved anything
Kill It
practical.
7's is easily the worst.
That's right. I'm back to take my revenge. Hey, he got away.
You probably wouldn't have if you didn't make that speech about him not getting away.
But Super 64 was literally facing towards Kill It 7 when making that speech, and I'm pretty sure that in Melee, Bowser does not have teleportation. Heck, I can barely think of any instances where Bowser's ever used teleportation. Well, now we have the story's true conflict, yet they decided to have most of it focus on the Super 64 versus Kill It 7 plot.
Greg here used to be my partner.
Better rivals used to be best friends cliche.
Wait a minute. Are you about to tell a story?
It all started 2 months ago. Greg here used to be my partner.
Hold on.
Okay, now you're just stalling. Look, I do enjoy this series in spite of how harsh I'm being on it, but can you please get on with it already?
We could, use this power to pawn all the pros.
But it wouldn't be us that's good. It would be the hacks.
That's rich coming from the guy who used them in your fight against Blackberry. Sure, it ended in a tie, but I could easily say it wasn't you that's good. It was the hacks.
Greg, is you gonna use this for the evil?
He just said he's got evil intentions 25 seconds ago.
Hey, Lead Fox, I got the evil intentions.
This guy right here has hacks. He wants to ruin the server.
Oh, he does he? Thank you for reporting him, player. I shall see to it that he is banned.
Without any evidence? This admin's way too easily convinced. Also, the sequel would imply that all hackers get banned. So why isn't he also banning Lead Fox for being on a stage that he clearly can't access without hacks?
Just tries and stops me, Elite. I's taught you everything yous knows.
Yet Lead Fox still wins this fight.
No!
No.
Or so we thought. Dun, dun,
Done. You know, that wasn't very funny.
That's not helping. That's doing the opposite of helping. What's the word for that?
Well, I never knew the opposite of helping was called hiding.
And so, Link went on a great quest to get out of the Black Void.
Ah, it's on narration.
He traveled through the Forest Temple.
Cool Ocarina of Time parody, but now it looks like he successfully got out of the Black Void, meaning that by going on this journey, all he's accomplishing is getting stuck in it again.
Across the Fire Temple.
And he found a cheat code that let him skip the Great Deku Tree, Dodongo's Cavern, and Jabu Jabu's belly.
Against the Tides Water Temple.
And all of its agony that's worse than any amount of Kirby taunting can do to you. Also, don't have the music overpower the voices.
And through the Shadow Temple.
The character goes on a long journey and ends up exactly where they started, cliche. And what we didn't see was the Ice Dungeon being played by Icicle Mountain, the Spirit Temple being played by Hyrule Temple, and Ganon's Castle being played by Brinstar Depths.
Did you just call me Lassie? That's what we Scots call out helpless little girls. Scots? I thought you said your name was Prince Rock.
Where in that sentence did he say his name's Scott?
Did you just call me Irish?
I don't know if Prince Rock's supposed to be a racist stereotype or not. I'm not one of those lunatics who assumes everything's racist. At least now I'm serious about it. But just in case.
I hate to interrupt what's probably going to be a long speech about how you're going to fight me, but I really have to get out of here.
So many of these fights start with, I don't want to fight you. Gets attacked. That's it, I'm fighting you. You're running dry with your ideas.
This is like a waste of time. The level 1 computer players are better than you.
Why is Super 64 the character everyone chooses to pick on? Sure, he's not a good fighter, but I could argue that a lot of characters in Smashtasm have something just as, if not even more embarrassing about them than he does. We even saw that one of our characters thinks he's a real video game character. Killer 7 is implied to be just as bad as Super 64, and very cowardly in addition to that. And even Prince Rock, the guy who's insulting Super 64 right now, can't tell Super 64's gender, and is kinda delusional, as we'll find out soon. And don't even get me started on Lamp. I guess in this universe, people don't judge you by your personality or intelligence, only by how good you are at some game.
If I'm so bad at this game, how did I beat you when we first met?
I wasn't really trying.
Especially since you started by just repeatedly spamming your side B.
You probably should get back to the fight with Prince Rock. By now, I'd say he's beating you sensitive with a sword.
I guess that's kind of funny, but how can he even think like that when he's being beaten up? Let alone think enough to have flashbacks, even if it is a fake flashback.
It's that blood off your wireframe, right there, behind you.
So the admins in this world are wireframes, but wireframes are still enemies? Well, that's kind of confusing.
I don't really know how to exit servers.
Then how did you get to Great Bay?
Ah! No more!
It was kind of a jerkish move of Link to attack one of them, but did they really not expect him to react like this? They've been taunting him endlessly for who knows how long. Did they really not expect him to snap like this at any point? I'd have thought they wanted him to snap like this.
This is my dog. I can't really go down there.
I can barely hear you over the loud music.
Let's take a look inside. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't go inside neither.
Well, that's kind of dark, implying he has no shelter from cold weather. Then again, he does deserve shelter.
This is a friend of mine.
Really? You seemed to see him as just an idiot a few minutes ago. Now all of a sudden you're friends?
For the play!
Missed opportunity for Super 64 to comment on how silly that sounds. Earlier we saw the reason Super 64 couldn't see the wireframe was because it left when Super 64 turned to look at it, but now it's revealed that the reason he couldn't see it was because Prince Rock only imagined it.
I remember a long time ago when that one magazine came out with that rumor that you could unlock Sonic and Tails?
Turn down the volume of Prince Rock's grunts. I can barely hear what's being said. Also, by leaving out the fact that the magazine was an April Fool's joke, you could easily give someone the wrong impression that Sakurai is a huge jerk who falsely advertised characters who aren't in the game. Also, if it makes Prince Rock feel better, he just has to wait a few more months to unlock Sonic and Brawl. As for Tails, only time will tell if he ever gets in. 36 seconds of this Kirby gesture sequence.
You're not good, you just keep using that cheap beat down move.
So in other words, he's basically the same Pikachu player that I once was. Also, have you tried challenging him to a single button melee where he can't use special attacks? Granted, single button melee is stupid, but it would really help you here.
But if you lose, I'll get your password. If I have that, I can log in as you and do things that I wouldn't normally do. Your account would be mine.
What a horrible person! I've seen some people find this character annoying, but I'm honestly more bothered by how much of a horrible scumbag he is.
Hey, you want this info, don't you?
It's not worth it. Try asking Prince Rock for ideas of what you can do for him like you were going to do earlier. Don't agree to it, Super 64. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Fine, I'll do it.
Ugh, this is hopeless. I see Super 64 getting hit by that bonsai bill as you fade out. Didn't think I'd notice you being off by a few frames, did you? Chip decides to end this part off by rickrolling the audience.
Hyrule Temple. This must be the place.
Great, now I'm getting Samus Rule 63 imagery.
Who are you talking to?
What? I don't recall doing that.
And there's that stereotype of all idiots having southern accents, which is honestly a pretty offensive stereotype.
His name is Lamp.
Lamp?
Yep, Lamp.
Yep, Lamp.
That's his name? Lamp?
This goes on for some time.
I'd Super 64. I'd say that you've wasted enough time.
You were part of that stupid joke about Lamp's name too, and if that hypocrisy is a joke, the sin's for not being funny. I'm guessing this Blue Zelda player is his girlfriend, and if so, then it's kinda cute that he has a girlfriend, but what does she see in this insult to Pikachu's?
Did I say that you could talk?
Well, no, but I...
Is this making a joke about abusive relationships? Because I think this is making a joke about abusive relationships.
I don't need this. You don't own me.
Super 64 is not wrong. Lamp, despite taking very few hits, is knocked out by this Babam.
You'll pay for that cheap shot.
How is that a cheap shot? Because you use an item? You have just as much access to items, so stop whining.
Here's your dismay.
Lamp, despite his stupidity, knows the word dismay.
End of the line. You've got one stock left, and this is a dead end.
Why doesn't Super 64 just jump back up and over Lamp? Or attack him while he's monologuing? Also, I checked, and Mario was able to do the Hyrule jump in Melee, albeit barely, but still possible. Link and Kirby's Ex Machina. Link somehow escaped the Black Void again.
No!
No, these Kirbys are just walking while chasing Link. This was pretty funny, but I seriously have no idea what I'm supposed to be feeling. I don't know if I should feel relieved that Super 64 doesn't have to give up his password, or disappointed that he won unfairly. This is one of the reasons Episode 8 is hands down the worst Smashtasm episode.
I can't believe you actually did it, yo.
Despite being very condescending, he accepts Super 64's win as a win, even though he won through means that aren't much better than cheating. Seeing Killer 7 ambush these players makes me wonder what they do after they get tricked. Do they also spend their time plotting revenge on Killer 7 like how Super 64 does? And here we are, back at Hyrule Temple again, after we've spent almost the entirety of the first 4 parts and almost the entirety of this part here already. That's almost half the entire season. Is there no love for Pokefloats? Are you telling me that Super 64 just risks losing his account for nothing? Leaflex kicked Super 64 out to prevent the game from crashing during their hack battle, but had their first battle be without hacks anyway.
We'd find 2 really bad players, train them with our hacks, and pit them against each other. So 2 were chosen. Killer 7 and you.
Super 64 isn't offended at being called a bad player.
If I has let you get your revenge, you has no reason to fight him now.
That's no excuse. You stopped him from doing what he almost lost his password trying to do. Doesn't help that having them fight was your idea. I'm sorry, this makes me really mad. Just had 20 cents before I lose my sanity. You know what I realized while planning this video? How many subplots this has? The Super 64 versus Killer 7 plot, Killer 7's trolling, Leaflex and Greg's rivalry, Link thinking he's a real Link and trying to escape, and Prince Rock seeing wireframes. I don't really mind this, I just thought it would be fun to point out, okay?
This can't be the end!
Can you actually die in this world? I'd have thought in Smash Brothers these situations would be a KO at worst.
Kirby's retreat!
Explain. It's like running away, but manlier.
But seriously, why do they have to retreat? Because he lost his crown? They're still obeying.
We'll be back!
Nope, still haven't returned.
Hi.
Yay!
Jeez, what's his problem?
The next user to appear at Jungle James happened to be another Kirby player who's not associated with King Kirby, so this joke could work.
Hello, Grasshopper.
Master refers to their student by the name Grasshopper Cliché.
Just as I thought. You are a noob.
Alright, I get it!
Also, as much as I can't stand characters getting constantly picked on, most underdog stories like this at least say these characters aren't as stupid as everyone thinks. That's clearly not the case here. Judging by how this repeatedly shames Super 64 for this, it's basically saying it's okay to bully inexperienced players. That's a horrible thing to teach people, even if this is a comedy.
You must learn to resist intimidation.
Ooh, I'm Super 64. I'm a total noob. I need items to win games.
Series continues this needless assault on items.
I don't understand how this is helping me.
Honestly, me neither. How will ignoring trolls help him win battles? Is there some joke I'm missing?
Now hit it as hard as you can with the bat. Are you retarded?
First Link rips off Buzz Lightyear, now Mu-Zero is ripping off Master Shifu. What's that? This episode released 4 months before Kung Fu Panda? Well, now I feel weird.
You are ready.
Ready because you beat up the troll that I told you to ignore.
The losers of this battle is banned, both the Haxer and his player.
What?
What?
Gotta side with Super 64 and Killer 7. They never sign up for that. Why not just have the losers get banned part only apply to you and Greg? Why do you need to drag the players into that? Sure, Killer 7 would deserve it, but Super 64 wouldn't.
Leet Fox, are you crazy?
I'm convinced he is.
I believe in you.
Do you really mean that, Leet Fox?
Well, not really.
I know that's supposed to be funny on some level, but it just makes Leet Fox look like a terrible friend.
Wow.
Also, if you don't actually believe he can win, maybe you should have thought of that before betting everything on this battle.
Now gets out there and win, because if you don't, we're all doomed.
Yeah, but does that include Killer 7? I guess things won't end well for him whether he wins or loses. Not that he wouldn't deserve that. Or will Greg decide to give Killer 7 immunity from that or something? Also, I'm pretty sure more than half the Smash communities migrated to Brawl by this point, since this episode aired 2 months after Brawl. Would they still be affected?
One hack each.
Why did you need Super 64 and Killer 7 for that? You could have easily had the one hack for each side thing with both of you guys too. If your one hack per side rule was your answer to preventing the game from freezing, you didn't need to drag 2 other players into this, and you especially didn't need to stop Super 64 from doing what he bet his account trying to do. I'm sorry, I still can't let that go.
I'm invincible.
Good thing this fight isn't in Brawl, otherwise he literally would be. Speaking of which, a user once did a Brawl version as to what the Melee series would look like in Brawl. I wonder what happened to that. Did he delete it for some reason?
All yours' moves is souped up.
Yeah, but you said this would be even better than Giga Bowser, but the only things you changed were the fireballs and cape. The other moves look the same to me. It was stated that this is a 4-stock battle, now it's a 1-stock. This final battle is awesome. The background is a black hole background. The background is a space background. I'm guessing that's because when it transitions to the snowy mountain background it caused the game to freeze because of 2 players using hacks during it, but I can't be certain. Obvious fake out cliffhanger is obvious.
How could he have lost?
You literally just said you don't actually believe in him. Greg's charge attack takes an awfully long time to charge up so Super 64 can use his cape to get back on the stage and KO Killer 7 just in time.
If the cape could propel me forward, the super cape could no doubt get me back on the stage. Or better yet, set me up for the perfect surprise attack.
You can tell it's a surprise attack by how Killer 7, Leet Fox, and Greg don't hear the sound Mario makes when he uses his cape.
I isn't jumping off the stage for no one.
Villain refuses it under the bargain cliche.
Paul always has more power over yous.
I've always been better than you cliche.
What could you possibly do to stop me?
Wow, 3 cliches back to back. Now you have the character says something but is instantly proven wrong cliche. Others ex machina. They think that if they have this guy play a small part in stopping Greg, they'll make me forget that this guy is still a terrible, terrible person for making Super 64 bet his password earlier.
All have helped you on your quest, and all will help you finish it.
Except for Lamp, who was more of an obstacle than anything. And then Blackberry, for whatever reason, completely disappears from this part after helping to stop Greg. Seriously, she's the only character here who doesn't appear again in this episode after attacking him. I'm guessing it's because this part was made after the time her voice actor's computer broke down so she couldn't record any more lines in this part, but he could have at least had her be on screen during the finale instead of having her just completely disappear altogether. Speaking of which, it really is a shame that we couldn't get more lines from her, especially since it really would have been nice seeing her grow to respect him more.
I can count to 5.
And we're even going to give you an entire short based on that.
Word. Sack.
Please, shut up.
What?
I almost didn't bring you here because of this. Do you even realize how annoying that is?
I'm still more bothered by him forcing Super 64 to bet his password earlier.
Hate the player, dog. Not the game.
What does that have to do with Mew Zero's claim about you being annoying? Leet Fox is a jerk to Prince Rock for no explained reason.
Why not?
Sounds gay.
Ah, the old days. Back when people could use the word gay to say that something's stupid, and they'd be seen as cool for saying that. Chip forgot to credit Melee's soundtrack in the credits. Hold on, Killer 7's still in his Giga Bowser form? After not only did the match end, but after he was banned?
Noob. Noob.
Noob.
Noob.
Noob.
Noob. Noob.
Noob.
Noob.
Noob.
Yep, I'm counting flashbacks.
Newbie?
Close enough.
Noob.
Noob. Noob.